to give a quick updated video on how I keep the cold plunge clean. I do have 2 other videos on how to build this and 1 iteration on how I changed it, but I have been running this current setup for probably around 7 or 8 months now, and it works pretty well. Quick. So basically with this setup, I have the water coming in into a strainer, goes into a UV filter, and comes out, goes through the cooler, and into the plunge. If I were to rebuild this again, since I kind of did it in stages, I went to UV, and the UV wasn't really doing the water the way I wanted it to, so after that I bought the ozone generator, and that was the ticket basically between, and then I also went to using hydrogen peroxide and the ice barrel stabilizer. So basically my process is every Friday I will come in, turn it off, I will clean this strainer quick, I will put in 1 cup, that's the top line I measured, 1 cup of hydrogen peroxide and a couple drops of the stabilizer. And then every once in a while it still is a little bit dirty in the bottom, and I have this little battery powered vacuum that we used to use for our small swimming pool that we used to have, one of those Intex pools. Also have some test strips for hydrogen peroxide, but basically I'm going to show you the process. So everything, this runs twice a day. I have Govee outlets that turn it on and turn it off twice a day. So the pump and the chiller run around 8 hours a day. This water has been in here since February. Still looks perfect. Basically I have the Govee app, and just to show you, the ozone generator comes in off the wall. Just turned it on with the Govee app. That runs 1 hour every night. So I'm going to show you the process quick. Shut this to keep the cool in. Also run a Govee thermometer that I can track the temperature on as well. Shut it off. Now I have a valve cutting out from the bottom suction and the discharge. Take a pair of channel locks, turn it just a hair. So that's after 1 week. Just gets a little bit of the grime and stuff out. I will go over to the hose and just hose this off with the garden hose. Okay, so this has been sprayed off. Just stick it in the strainer. Now I used to have the whole home filter. You'll see that in one of my other videos if you watch it on how I built it. That thing sweated so bad it made water everywhere, so I just took it out. Just a little turn to snug it. Open your valves back up. Now that's ready to turn on again. And that's on a timer with the Govee. Next I take, this is 12% hydrogen peroxide. Dump it in the water. Ice barrel stabilize, works pretty good. I've had this for a while. That was about 8 drops. That's all I do once a week. One other thing before I go in and out of the plunge, I have this strainer, and I will sift off the top before I go in, and then immediately after I get out I do it again. So if I had any hairs or anything else, and also hose this thing out once a week. So my process is get in here. One other thing, I have this little spa pillow. I got my 3-minute timer. I will step in. Well, first, before I get in, I either take a shower, or if I'm working outside, I'll hose myself off with the hose to get all oils and whatnot off my skin best I can. Get in for my 3 minutes. Got my 3-minute timer right here. Once I get out, I will then take my strainer and just go over the whole top just to get anything off the surface. Microfiber cloth, get up all the water that I just put all over the side. And then shut the lid. About once a month I will have to use this vacuum on the bottom, but this water, like I said, has been in here since February. It's now towards the end of July, and it looks perfect. Some people filter their water that they put in. I have a water softener system, and I had a valve put in off the discharge of it, so it is softened water and filtered. So we'll use that when I just put water in 5 gallons at a time in a bucket. This has worked for me. Again, if I did it again, I don't even think I'd use the UV filter. But this process has worked for me. The hydrogen peroxide and the ozone generator were the ticket. And it maintains the water the way I do. I use this thing about 6 times a week. So, and I also run it with the Govee automatic on, automatic off switches, one for the ozonator and the other one for the pump. Basically the pump just turn on with that. Powers this GFCI that I have the pump and the chiller plugged into, and the UV. So anytime this thing is pumping, the UV is working and the chiller is on. So, and it's going through that strainer. So, hope this video helps. Any questions, let me know. I'll put some links of some of this stuff that I talked about today in the bottom, and also links for how I built this cold plunge in the first update. So hope this helps. Happy plunging.